The young officer barked at her in front of everyone. His voice was sharp, full of arrogance that echoed through the crowded terminal. "Ma'am, you don't belong in this line. This is for decorated service members only. Step aside." Gasps flickered in the air, quick, uncertain, like sparks struggling to become fire. A dozen eyes turned toward her, some with curiosity, others with judgment, most with silence. She stood there, back straight, her frame smaller than the towering officer before her. She looked like a rookie, a newcomer, who had stumbled into the wrong place. But her jacket told another story. Worn, faded, but immaculate. And on the left breast 5 purple ribbons gleamed faintly under the harsh fluorescent lights. 5 purple hearts, pinned not for show, but for blood, for pain, for sacrifice that no bystander could even begin to comprehend. And yet, she said nothing. Her silence made the moment heavier than any shouted defense. She was not tall, not imposing, not the kind of figure the crowd expected to stand at the front of a military line. Her hair was streaked with premature silver, her hands bearing the faint tremors of old wounds. Her boots were scuffed, her step measured, as if each stride reminded her of battles fought and scars endured. To the young officer, she looked like a civilian trying to play soldier. To the strangers watching, she looked like someone out of place. But if one looked closely, truly looked, the story of her life was stitched into every crease of her uniform. Once, her world had smelled of dust and gunpowder, where the sun beat down mercilessly, and the cries of the wounded carried through the night. She had entered the service young, far younger than most of those around her, determined not by ambition but by necessity. The war had claimed too many from her town, too many from her family. She had chosen to walk into the fire, so others might not have to. The first wound came early, a searing strike that left her breathless in the dirt, clutching her side as blood soaked through her uniform. She had survived not because she was fearless, but because she was unwilling to let the man beside her die alone. The second came months later, in a village whose name she could never forget. She had shielded a child, a boy no older than 6, when shrapnel tore into her back. She remembered the metallic tang of blood, the boy's sobs against her chest, and the way her comrades carried her out, insisting she stay down. But she had risen again. By the time she received the 5th Purple Heart, she had stopped counting her scars. Each medal was not a mark of pride but a ledger of loss. Every ribbon reminded her of the ones who never came home, the brothers and sisters in arms who gave their all and left her behind to carry the weight. Now, years later, she stood quietly as an officer half her age tried to strip her of her dignity. "Step aside," he repeated, impatience sharpening his tone. "You're holding everyone up." No one spoke. No one defended her. The crowd shifted uncomfortably, complicit in its silence. The weight of judgment pressed down, yet she remained still, her gaze calm, almost tender, as though she had endured far greater storms than this. And in truth, she had. The tension rose with each passing second. The officer's authority collided with her quiet defiance, though she had uttered no word, made no protest. It was the stillness in her unshakable, rooted, unyielding, that unsettled those who watched. A child tugged on his father's sleeve, whispering, "Daddy, why does she have all those purple pins?" The father hushed him, glancing nervously at the officer, unwilling to speak aloud what everyone could see. Yet the question lingered, hanging in the air like smoke. 5 Purple Hearts. 5 battles survived. 5 times death had brushed against her and failed to claim her. And still, she stood silent. The shift came quietly, almost imperceptibly. A man in the back, another veteran, his cane betraying years of pain, stepped forward. His eyes had caught the glint of the medals, and in that instant recognition flared. He removed his cap, pressing it to his chest. Then another did the same. And another, until the silence of complicity turned into the silence of reverence. One by one, the line of onlookers straightened, caps lowered, heads bowed. No words were spoken, but their gesture thundered louder than any rebuke. The young officer faltered, confusion flickering across his face as the weight of respect surrounded him, pressing in from every side. The woman did not gloat. She did not smirk. She did not need to. Her quiet pride spoke for her. And in that moment, a line etched itself into the memory of everyone present, words not spoken aloud, but carried in the marrow of silence. Dignity does not shout. Honor does not demand. It simply stands, unshakable, until the world is forced to see. The officer's voice, once sharp, now cracked under the pressure of his own ignorance. I didn't know, he stammered. Eyes darting to the medals, to the bowed heads, to the unwavering figure before him. But she did not answer. She never needed to. The crowd's respect was answer enough. At last, she stepped forward not with triumph, but with the quiet grace of someone who had walked too close to death to need validation. Her steps echoed softly, measured, as the line parted before her. Somewhere in the back, an elderly man whispered words that would be remembered long after the moment passed. 5 times she bled for us, and she asks nothing in return. And when she reached the front, she paused not to prove a point, not to relish vindication, but to leave behind a truth that hung heavier than any reprimand could. Respect is not owed to the uniform. It is owed to the sacrifices made in silence, when no one is watching. In the end, she seemed like a rookie to those who judged only by appearances. But to those who truly saw her, she was a living testament to resilience, courage, and quiet pride. Her 5 purple hearts were not ornaments. They were echoes of 5 different days when the world tried to break her and failed. And though she walked away without a word, she left behind a silence so full, so heavy, that it felt like the entire room was standing at attention. Not all battles are fought on foreign soil. Some are fought in moments of dignity, in crowded terminals, in the quiet strength of those who carry scars unseen. She seemed like a rookie, but she was the embodiment of sacrifice, of honor unspoken, of pride that did not need to shout. Wherever you are watching from, let this story remind you, sometimes the strongest voices are the ones that never need to be raised. If you carry respect for silent heroes like her, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories that honor the unseen strength among us. Because heroes do not always stand in the spotlight. Sometimes, they stand quietly in line until the world is forced to bow.